Hey everyone, it's Megan with Fine Designs by Megan, and today I'm going to show you how to make this super quick and easy glow-in-the-dark tumbler using clear printable vinyl. First off, what you're going to do is you're going to sand your cup down, clean it, and spray it with flat spray paint, white. And then you're going to give 3 coats of this glow-in-the-dark paint. I did purchase this at Walmart, but you can get it on Amazon, and I believe in the hardware store like Lowe's and Home Depot. After I sprayed it 3 times and it was dry, I'm going to add this glow-in-the-dark powder, which I purchased off Amazon. I'll list it down in the description box, a link to it. I mixed it into 15 mLs of epoxy, and I am using a 20 straight tumbler, 20 skinny straight. So if you're going to do a 30-ounce skinny, I'd probably use about 20 mLs. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to put a nice smooth layer of epoxy on it. I am using Ksresin, the art resin. I am not using Liquity Split on this one because I don't want it to cure too fast to where my glow-in-the-dark layers are uneven. You want to try to make it as even as possible. And I just put a very small amount, about 1 ml of the glow powder is what I put into my epoxy. So you don't want a whole lot because you don't want your color to be so bright that it takes away from the white, because when you're using the clear vinyl, you don't want it to be so bright under it, just like you wouldn't with a clear water slide. Okay? So that's something important. You don't want to put too much, but you don't want to put too less of the glow powder in your epoxy. So I'm just going to rub this on here, and then once it is on there, I'm going to let my cup cure for 8 hours before I move on to the next step. After my cup is cured for 8 hours, I'm going to examine and make sure there's no imperfections on it. And then I'm going to take this clear adhesive vinyl that I have bought from the Vinyl Craze. It is their clear pattern vinyl. I'm going to trim around the edges, make sure there's no white edging left around it. That way I can make sure I can measure it up perfectly up to my tumbler, and there won't be it won't be crooked or anything like that. Okay, I'm not going to worry about this side because we're going to be trimming this up before it'll fit my cup. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take my cup and I'm going to turn it upside down. I do not know how I got vinyl on there. Okay, turn it upside down. I'm going to make sure that they are going this way. And this is clear vinyl. And I want my glow to be able to show through. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to line that up. And then I kind of want to see where I want to trim off. So I don't want to lose my soldiers. Okay? So we are going to trim. I can see it and feel it right there. So we are going to trim about, about right here. And I don't want to go over my edge. So I'm going to grab my cutter and I am going to line up where I want my cut to be. There you are. So I want to put it right there. Okay. So that's what we're going to put on the cup. And now I'm going to take my cup, and I'm not going to worry too much about the bottom because I am going to do power wash method on the bottom. So I'm not going to worry, but I'm going to line it up to the top and I'm going to push down. And then I want to make sure that it's going to line up right there. And I'm just going to take down my edge right there. Okay. And now I'm going to take my corner. And I did clear printable vinyl. It is from the Glitter Craze. I am an affiliate with them. I will share a link down in the description box. I just became an affiliate. And you can click on the link and get 10% off your order. You will love them. They are absolutely amazing. Fast shipping, never out of stock, ever. And, well, at least on vinyl anyways. And you will be amazed by how wonderful they are. Okay, so I'm just gonna press with my fingers, make sure it's perfectly smooth, okay? And once that edge is perfectly smooth, I am going to go ahead and pull that up. And be careful and not be too rough on it because it can cause your print to lift. All right, now I'm gonna take my Squeegee. I did get this from the Vinyl Craze. If you do not have one, you need to get one, especially if you're going to be using printable vinyl. It does have felt right here, and it keeps the plastic from scratching your image. That's why you're going to want one. I promise you won't regret it. It's the best couple dollars I've ever spent. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I turn my cup away from me, and I literally grab my Squeegee and I just press. Okay, and I just push and I just slide it down the edge. And don't worry too much about the top. We'll straighten all that out. Make sure there's no air bubbles. And I just kind of go pretty slow and let that pull itself off. Keep rubbing it. Okay, and now that I reached back over here, I'm going to make sure it's completely smooth. And then I'm gonna take my tool, and you might have a little bit of specks because you did epoxy it before, so if your epoxy has any dimples, you'll get dimples, but don't worry, you won't be able to see any of those little imperfections. Make sure I have no air bubbles. Okay, now I'm gonna grab my blade, and I'm just going to gently see where my edge is right here. And I'm going to cut it right where it doubles. Because you don't want to cut too far over or too close, because if you go off, you're going to have a gap, okay? We're going to lift this up. And we're going to pull off that vinyl. And now, I'm going to smooth out my edges around the top. Make sure they are perfect. Completely perfect. You really want to make sure your edges are completely smooth, that there's no bubbles, creases, or any lifting, because we are going to epoxy this before we go on to the next step, which is the power wash method on the bottom. And you don't want any epoxy to get up underneath your vinyl or cause a bump or anything like that. So now that you have it epoxied, you're going to go outside and you're going to do your power wash method. And I'm just going to use a Dawn power wash and then black flat spray paint. And when you start to spray paint your Dawn power wash, you want to spray paint pretty heavy around the bottom over your portrait of your soldiers, because you want to try to get less paint up there as possible. And then I'm going to spray the bottom lightly to give it kind of the bubble look. And then I'm going to spray a light coat of the black spray paint. And then I will dip it in the water and clean it. And then after I clean it, I'm going to put it up on my holder for about an hour and let it dry completely. And once it's dry, I'm going to go over it with 91% alcohol and make sure it's cleaned up before I epoxy it again and finish it up. And here is the finished tumbler after I epoxied it. I will list in the description box all the materials that I used, and there will be a couple discounts on the vinyl and the epoxy if you'd like to get a discount. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. If you like my video, just give me a thumbs up, and I will be posting a few more videos in the near future. Talk to you guys soon. Thank you for watching.